Hello, it's Pete here again, and we are talking about infinite doodles. Now, if you haven't seen these two wonderful die sets, then please go to the Sizzix hub for infinite doodles. There's all sorts of inspiration today. But today, we're going to talk about some little hacks, some little techniques which I use to get texture, some special cuts. Like, for example, how do we get the bottom, the detail on the cape of the witch, or even the bottom of the bat's wing? How do we make these moons? You know, how do we get the texture on Santa's beard? There's so many things going on here. I want to show you some of those, and hopefully it will expand your creative universe and make your experience with the infinite doodles all the more pleasurable. So let's get going. So let's take a look at this cat, this lovely little truck that we've got here. Obviously, driving home for Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Of course it is, but let's talk about this lovely background, this snowy background, and of course the tree. Where do we get the texture from for that? Now, first and foremost, let's have a look at these dies. These are what I call background dies or texture dies. There's several ways to use these. You can see this one I've cut using this die here. Now, if I superimpose that on to another green, another color, and I actually attach that with glue, whether it's spray glue or PVA, whatever you use, and then I take this die. Now, this die is very versatile. It's what I call one of the foundational dies. It could be used in so many different ways. But if I take that out for a second and bring in my wonderful Big Shot machine, let's turn that around. Now, if I cut this one, suddenly I've got a rather convincing pine tree. Now, you could use this as a mountain in a little scene as well, which I have done. If I take that out and then die cut it, and of course, once you've done that, keep this for later, put it in your stash, in your scraps. And infinite doodles, of course, are great for using up all your scraps. But there you can see, there's the tree, which goes in the back of the truck. So we do this with quite a lot of different things, and I'm going to be showing you some different ones where we've used that to create our texture. Now, let's talk about the background on the card as well. So I'm going to reach down and grab this strip of card. You can see that I've torn it, and it's exactly the right length for my base card. And if I reach over and bring my machine back in, what I'm going to do now, because another important thing to realize with these is this is one die. But if you think of it another way, it's also about 40, 50 dies, because all these little pieces, we can use these. So I keep them all in a little box like this. So I use them for eyes, and I use them for details like highlights and so on and so forth. So the other day we made a Christmas pudding, and if you know the traditional British Christmas pudding, then we were able to create all the lovely little raisins and bits, which give it its Christmas puddingy type detail. So let's roll that through. You know what? If you want to be extra short, roll it through twice. That's absolutely fine. Then I'm going to take that, and I'm going to leave those on there for now, because I'll pick them all off later. So I'm going to run that through again from side to side. And it's a great way to create backgrounds, longer backgrounds, as long as you need them. So if you're a 12 by 12 scrapbooker, for example, you can do a really long strip by going back and forth and doubling up on these and even combining them. So we've got mint green card, and we've got a lovely mint green tool here to get all those little bits out. And as I say, don't throw these away. They will come in very handy. And I know what you makers are like at home. You've got little boxes for all your stash, all your little scraps of paper, and so on and so forth. So there is my background. And when we stick it onto a card like that, wow, it really does make it sing. It's a perfect way to bring that out. Now, another card that I've got, and obviously we've made this little Christmas scene using the infinite doodle dies, but that little background there, and that's with just a single use. So that in itself is a very, very versatile die. Let's take another look at this card, because obviously we've got these lovely mountains in the background, snow-capped mountains, and they were made using that Christmas tree die, which we talked about, and then two of these lovely foundational dies, which I use an awful lot. So we've cut those shapes, but in order to get that sort of snow-capped look, what I'll do is I'll bring my cutting plates in, and I'll put the three of them onto the cutting plates, thus. So we'll get them in a row, and that's where I want this die. This is where this one comes in so handy. So let's try and get these lined up nicely. That should just about do it. And maker's tape, if you do not have maker's tape or have not seen maker's tape, then it's perfect for those die cuts which you need to stay perfectly in register. You don't want them slipping about. So it's a very low tack tape, so it doesn't leave any residue on your cardstock as some washi tapes might. So I'll bring this back in and I'll run that through the machine. Thus, then we'll take that away, because what we've got now is where this lovely, this die, and this is such a versatile die. You know, whether you want it to be, it could be grass, it could be the snow on a Christmassy festive sort of rooftop, it could be the foam on the top of a jug of beer or something like that. But it's one, again, that I return to time and again. So, and you don't have to use these dies in their entirety. You can trim that down to size later on, should you wish. But now we've got them, let's take a little bit of PVA, like so, and we'll take our individual bits, apply a little bit of glue, and pop that on there. Now suddenly it is a snow-capped mountain, but you know what, that again, that could be a pine tree. So cut a load of different greens, create the snow-capped look, and Bob's your uncle. This one now, again, the traditional British Christmas pudding, if this was brown, you see what's going on there, and that is that lovely topping, your brandy butter or whatever. And there's the third one. So there we have it. And that was just one cut through the machine. You put them together with some of these little shapes in front, maybe cut some little trees from the triangle, and that's what you get. So that's another handy little tip to be going along with. Next, I want to talk about moons. You can see these lovely moons in the background now. The eagle-eyed amongst you will realize that there are no large circles in the sets, but nil desperandum, because we've got our favorite framelit circles. This is one of 8. This is a Sizzix framelit circles product. Now, I've die cut 2 separate moons, but it's all about the detail. How do we get that detail? Well, I'm going to reach for that die that we used last time for this snowy background, and it doesn't matter how or where I place it over this moon, okay? Because what I'm going to do is run it through, and you can do it, you can leave some, you can add some, you can just have it off to the side, you can double up with this die as well if you want to go that route. So I'll make my cut, and there's my moon. Now, there is one other thing that I need to do, and that's to get all these little bits out. Again, keep these bits. If you want to get further texture, you can even, with a little bit of glue, you can attach some of these bits back on to get, you know, to get further layers of dimension and texture. But I'm going to take that moon. It's not quite finished yet, because I'm going to take that. Let's just get all these bits off our cutting mat. Let's take that now. I'm going to take a couple of circle dies, again, which come with the infinite doodles, and this is going to make the difference. This is good, because at the moment it looks like a round piece of cheese, and you know what? It could be a round piece of cheese. So think about making a little mouse to go with it as well. Anyway, because if we cut one of those as a triangle and use that texture, of course, we're in Edam country, or Amsterdam, or whichever holy cheese from the Netherlands you prefer. So let's wind that through. So just a couple of circles. That's all. Slightly different sizes, but it really makes a difference. But what that difference comes to the fore when we mount it onto a piece of contrasting yellow cards. Suddenly, we've got a moon, a perfect moon as a spooky background. You could do that in greys, you could do it in white and a pale blue if you want to go for a different kind of vibe. So it doesn't have to be a spooky haunted moon like we've done here with our lovely cat. All of these, of course, created with infinite doodles. It could be whatever you want, but it's a great little trick. It's a lovely way of getting that texture and definition in our cardstock for our die cutting. Right, this is a busy little card. There's lots going on there, lots of detail. We've got the little rocks, we've got the volcano exploding with the steam coming out. We've got clouds, we've got that wonderful tiny T-Rex, and of course this purple background, again made with one of the framelits circles. So let's have a look at some of these wonderful textures again. So that's my reptile. That's what I do to create my reptile. I just cut the shapes out of that. Then this one, well, that will be my volcano. So I simply take this die and I cut the detail from that and just chop the top off. And for my little rocks, well, probably that die and maybe this die as well. So we're building up, so slightly different. So the colors here are reversed out. So this one, the dark color is at the front. Here, the dark color is at the background. So that's another way that we can get contrast. But the background, this is another way, this lovely wavy one. And this is such a versatile die. It's this one here. And again, don't think of that as a die. That is 26 dies, because I promise you will use all the little bits that come out of that. And you know, you put the two together like that, bring in the machine, and it's so quick and easy to create the most gorgeous, gorgeous background. Of course, this is purples. Purple, it's a lovely color for your Halloween makes as well. And there we are. It's a wonderful background feature. So bring in things like your framelits, whether they be squares or circles or even triangles. It's entirely up to you, but they do make the most wonderful backgrounds like that. And this die, again, now let's think about using the pieces that come out. So you see, it's used twice there. So we did the zebra by simply sticking the white card onto the black like that, and that's created our zebra, or all the parts we need for the zebra. And then this background here, these little yellow ones coming out, and they were cut. We did a double here. So if you've got this, you can keep going with that. So it makes it a great background. It could be, I mean, it looks very jungle. It could be fire, you know, but keep all those pieces because they do come in handy. Also, let's take a look at a couple more. What have we got here? So, yeah, that could be a tiger. So we could create a tiger with that. This, same die, different colors, that's wood. That's wood texture. And then finally, these little bits, that could be water. So you take the little bits out, you could have, you know, the waves in the ocean, maybe have a sailing boat on top of that. But here's one that I like, one that we made, and we've used all those little pieces, different shades of yellow, to create that kind of a sunset. So you can just imagine sitting back with a cocktail on holiday, beautiful sunset. What could be better? So there we have it, and that's just a few little techniques to get your sort of creative juices flowing. It is infinite. It really is. There's so many more things that I could show you, but this would be infinitely long, I suppose, because the ideas just keep coming, don't they? But that's a few little things just to get you going. We will try and return to some of these and show you some more techniques as time soldiers on. But if you want more information, then go to our Instagram, our Facebook, all the usual places. But please, please, please go to the Infinite Doodles Hub on the Sizzix website. That's sizzix.co.uk, or if you're in the US, sizzix.com. Thank you for joining me today. I've been Pete, and I'll see you again soon.